Ahlelele ahlelas. Ahlelele ahlelas. Ahlelele ahlelas. Ahlelele
Shoved up my
ahlelas.
ass.
Bullying is the use of force, manipulation, hurtful teasing, comments, or threats in order to abuse, aggressively dominate, gain resources, or intimidate one another. The behavior is often repeated and habitual, and I think that is good and moral. Pause. Because there will always be people who just love to misinterpret things without even watching the entire video. This video obviously does not promote bullying. It is not an excuse to make someone feel bad just because I said it is good and moral. Do not twist this video for your petty reasons. This video is an essay on nature and human behavior, not a promotional piece to throw thermonuclear bombs at the autistic kid in your class. But I still stand behind the idea that bullying is something beneficial that happened to me. You can call it coping and all, but genuinely, the events that I went through made me realize my weakness. Made me realize my weaknesses, my awkward social behaviors, and it pushed me towards change. But this is a very, very, very nuanced topic. As because it was helpful towards me, it doesn't mean it will be helpful towards others. Even though I say that bullying as a thing that happens naturally in human behavior is good and moral, I cannot ignore the idea that some will just have psychological damages from bullying for the entirety of their lives. Even if I come from the perspective that your bullies prepare you for the real world, I do understand that that mindset is not applicable for everyone. Humans are complex creatures. Some people would agree with me. Tell me that the times they got beaten up in school made them train hard in the gym, and now people don't want to pick battles with them. Whilst on the other hand, some of you have gotten beaten and now have fears talking to people. So please, take this video with a grain of salt, as this video isn't about glorifying bullies, but rather a video about overcoming weaknesses and defending yourself against bullies. I had to write this part later in the script, because I believe that many people would misinterpret the message of this video. So let's continue with the rest of the video. This video will resonate with most of you who have experienced some forms of bullying. From deep in, set in psychological damage from bullying, to remembering your physical altercations with some of those power-hungry athletes in school. I'm not going to be this guy who will tell you to just brush off those past experiences, as they have never happened, because they did happen. And they leave a burden on your later years. Many times I have heard that you should just ignore those past experiences, as they do not define you who you are today. But truth be told, the way how you conduct yourself right now is because of those past experiences. You are building your own image of the world the more years you walk on this planet, so to just neglect how you were treated before in your youth is a foolish idea. Unfortunately, traumas do define you. There are probably many of you who cope with suppressed traumas by doing activities just to pass the time. Maybe you are a loner and you just cannot connect to people, so you pull up my video to listen to whilst you play your favorite video game. Sad news is that not many of us had a great start at life. Maybe the environment did not play into our own favor. Maybe certain life milestones and lessons you had to learn the hard way, and because time was not on your side, the people around you surpassed you, leaving you behind. And because, especially in childhood years, human behavior and emotions are far more noticeable and prominent, you will feel the burning from the flames. Kids have not yet learned the manners, cultural, social behaviors and morals. If your genetics or behavior aren't socially acceptable, they will make it known to you. But why? Why does this one kid or person have a problem with me? I'm just silent, quiet, minding my own business. I do what I'm told. I'm polite and so on. Why is there that one guy who is clearly way stronger and bigger than me want me to suffer for no apparent reason? Well, there's always a reason. It is not a rational reason if you look at it from a moral perspective. Like, why do you want to hurt this guy for just a dopamine hit? Couldn't you just dominate a person who is stronger or the same as you? Why do you dog down on the weaklings? Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your life circumstances, nature is cruel towards the weak and rewarding towards the strong. Nature does not care about morality. Morality is a human invention inside the human world. Many naive people make the mistake of applying human morality in the animal kingdom. How dare a lion eat a gazelle? The gazelle is suffering, grasping for air as its flesh is being mauled from behind. But that is moral for the lion, as the nutritional value from that gazelle will make him grow stronger to protect his lineage. We are still animals deep down. and we still have that tendency of dominating others for our own personal gains. Maybe you are not like that, but I would still argue that if you play competitive games, you still have that natural desire to conquer and win. You just cannot achieve that in real life, so you use artificial and digital replacements for that. Bullying is domination, an exercise of power over the weak. You are either the bully or the bullied. Many people try to create huge and big explanations on why bullying happens, creating all sorts of theories, studies, overcomplicated explanations and so on. If you are interested in that, then go and study that branch of human behavior. But to explain bullying in the simplest of ways, everyone gets one cookie. The bully sees the weakling's cookie. Knowing that the weakling will not protect himself, what does the bully have to lose by just taking away that cookie? You can even argue that if you cannot protect what is yours, then is it really yours to begin with? Is it? The aggressor just directly doubled his cookie supply for what? Just by scaring the weakling, or just by applying some force. The bully does not have a big and dramatic plan on the destruction of your character and identity. Even though that is the thing that happens in reality, he's not planning that in his conscious mind. He sees what he wants and just takes it. He does not care how much emotional damage he has left you with. He is satisfied with his easily earned sugar supply intake. He probably does not even remember what he did, whilst you are constantly repeating that one episode in your head about your cookie incident. There are times in my own life where I hurt other people, without me even knowing I hurt them, making me not even remember what I did, whilst my victims probably have bad memories about me right now. And to them, I am sorry, but at the same time I am not. Over time, the value I started to respect more and more is strength, mental and physical. This world is not for the weak, as we already established, and by creating safety bubbles for them, we are keeping them weak. And whoever wants to burst that bubble and try to surpass his weak origins and to actually achieve something admirable in life, he's casted out as the aggressor. Your will to power should not make you bothered if you hurt some people on the way. A giant does not concern himself with stepping on ants when he walks. You should not walk on eggshells in life. Iron sharpens iron, so you cannot sharpen yourself by being surrounded by weaklings. By saying that you should not bother yourself walking over the ants, I'm not actively promoting that you should hurt others, because you will hurt people either way, by changing yourself for the better or by doing nothing. With the passage of time, you will in some sort of way hurt people by accident. By separating yourself from your past friend groups, or by making others feel negative emotions about themselves when you show to the world that your values are superior. You don't need to accept emotional responsibility over others. If your strong identity makes the weak identities around you feel negative about themselves just by sheer presence, it is not your duty to lower yourself to their level. At the same time, if the character or identity of someone superior than you makes you feel bad, then my dear friend, you need to work on yourself, either by training or surpassing the values he already possesses, or by absorbing different values he does not possess. What I want to say is that bullying is in the nature. It is just will to power. You cannot suppress it by creating artificial environments and safety bubbles. If someone sees an opportunity for a quick dopamine hit by lowering you down so that he can raise up in that social hierarchy, he will take that opportunity. The biggest mistake that people do is they romanticize the bully. Oh, forgive him if he treated you badly. His father probably left him when he was 10 years old. Oh, forgive him for kicking you in the stomach during PE class. He has a lot of pent-up anger because his mother is a drug-addicted whore. Fuck that bullshit, man. I have seen this happen many times. The weakling creates all of these mental gymnastics, making himself look morally superior by creating a sad image of the attacker, whilst in reality he does not do anything to change the situation. For the majority of cases, bullies do not have these sad and pathetic lives that we visualize. Many of my so-called bullies had a great time in school. Good parents, good household environment. They were just arrogant and cocky because at these moments they felt superior. In these animalistic and primal moments of human nature, ditch morality out of the window. Do not use morality as a shield. Fight back. Defend yourself by methods that will make the bully choose someone else and not you. But we will talk about that later in the video, on the practical part of defending yourself against bullies, because there are some of you who actively suffer against it, or you have friends who suffer. So, who can be the bully? And how do they bully? Normies mostly visualize the bully as this teenager in school, probably chubby, wearing a black hoodie, full of pimples, laying on the wall, pretending to be someone. But the reality is, anyone can be a bully. your close friends, your parents even. Bullying does not magically end when you leave the educational system. A bully can be that 56-year-old co-worker who dislikes you. Adults can be bullies. It is just that the methods of bullying are far more sophisticated in adults compared to in children. A child will punch you in the face if he wants your cookie, whilst an adult will probably manipulate, evade, gaslight and so on to achieve what he wants. Adults pretty much do not use physical force to bully someone, mostly social and verbal bullying, by lowering someone in the room, by spreading rumors, or by gaslighting someone into self-harming activities, which is messed up. Bullying can either create you, build you up, and then prepare you for the real world, but it can also mess you up, make you a shut-in, make you hate yourself. It makes you feel like the entire world hates you, so you are deserving of hate, which I do not know if you deserve it or not. I do not know you. The only thing that needs to be known is that if you do not like your self-image of the world, then you need to do something about it. Either finding healthy copes or work hard to surpass your negative self-image. Guys, I'm 21 years of age at the moment of recording this video. I am a result of bullying in my childhood. That bullying made me prepared, made me work on myself for the better. I am set in for life, let's say, because I found healthy methods of coping with my past childhood years. But I know people who did not do that, who were extensively bullied during their childhood, and because they were victims back then, they are victims even today. That is brutal, man. There is one guy at my current workplace who is very close to 30 years of age, and is being bullied by pretty much everyone in that workplace, mostly because of his behavior, because he's not socially calibrated, and then they ask why he does not talk to anyone, because every single time he wants to say something he's either ignored or shut down, which is neither good nor bad, because his topics are not relevant to the group dynamic at my job, so it is just natural that he will be shut down. Anyways, because he's not respected by anyone there, because he does not deserve respect as respect should be earned and not gifted, I'm pretty much the only guy that he can open up to. Because I was the only guy who decided to just listen to him and to listen to his struggle. And what he told me is that he was extensively bullied in his school. His life situation at home was also miserable. He had to go to the psychiatrist many times in high school. Unfortunately for him, it is destined that he will be the victim for the rest of his life, as that behavior is repeated everywhere he goes. Which is just brutal, man. The only copes he has right now are watching movies and playing video games, as those are the only methods of him expressing his will to power. The more a person is abused, the more likely they are to be abused again because of severe disassociation to danger, fear, and red flags. Which means the moment you allow the bully to tremble over you and you just submit yourself, it is over. Why do some people get bullied? And why are some people immune? Simple answer. You're perceived as weak. This does not mean that you just look weak. It is also means that you act weak. Bullies do not just jump at you as soon as they see you. They need to test the waters first. Which means bullies are not confident about themselves when they want to hurt others. They do small things to test you. Maybe they throw small insults at you to see your reaction. Maybe they take some of your stuff and misplace them somewhere just to provoke something. At these moments they are trying to see if you bend easily or not. And if you bend easily, you will break. The black-pilling truth of the matter is that for the vast majority, bullying is genetical. Looks play a huge factor in human behavior and dynamics. No one really wants to tease a giant in the classroom. They often seek the shortest, ugliest, and the most insecure one. I have never really seen a pretty boy get bullied in school, as girls mostly come to defend him. That 30-year-old guy, that 30-year-old co-worker that I mentioned minutes ago, is somewhere around 5'5" in height, and is chubby, and considering that the average height in my country is very close to 6 feet, that does not play into his favor. Interesting fact is that if he lost the weight right now, his sexual marketplace value would go up a bit, because his before pictures look decently good, but extensive years of mistreatment made him gain weight. Those years of extensive bullying destroyed his identity. His character is in shambles. Because of that, his social skills are non-existent. The damage is already done. It would take Herculean effort right now for him to change for the better. And you know what is even more brutal, man? Everyone at my workplace says that he does not care. He does not put in the effort into change. He does not put in the effort into socializing with others. Trust me, he did. He tried many times. It is just that the emotional baggage is way too big for him to surpass on his own. Everyone tries to give advice from their own living experience and not from someone else's perspective. He could do this. He could just start talking to us and be more social. He could He could try and work out and do things and do that and do this. It would be easy for you if your childhood years started with a strong base, to then later start this dedicating and spending times on hobbies that further improve your life. But for some, it is a struggle, a huge struggle. I'm not saying that it is impossible, but I'm saying that it takes such huge efforts. I could think that if his life would to improve, he would have to find good positive friends, a brotherhood of some kind. But because his identity is already weak, no one truly wants to be close to him. Who wants to be friends with a weakling? It is tough out there for these kinds of people. That is the reason why you should do something early so that you do not end up like these repeating victims. Even if you're genetically fucked, it is still better to never submit and to fight back somehow. Do something about it, as the years ahead of your life would be harder and harder. Don't allow others to walk over you with ease. So we have established that bullying is natural and that it will not go away. We established that people, especially boys and men, love to dominate each other for either social or materialistic gains. We established that nature is cruel and that nature is not made for the weak, but for the strong. Bullies exist in all ages and traumas define you. So what can we actually do to stop being bullied ourselves? What is the practical advice I can give you right now? Rule number 1. Never submit. Never submit yourself to the bully. The bully only understands two things: power and strength. By submitting to the insults, harassments and mistreatments, you are telling him that you do not have the backbone and you are ready to be walked over many times, which at first glance does not seem bad. If I give him what he wants, he will not punch me in the face, right? Danger avoided as it seems. But these events being repeated over and over do far more damage to you than it seems, especially on your subconscious. The worst thing in life is not when other people walk all over you, but when you yourself think that it is acceptable to be walked over. So in these situations, fight back, as the long-term damage will be far greater than the immediate stress of standing up for yourself. Rule 2. Don't romanticize the bully. Do not implement morality into the equation. I know that the title probably has the word morality in it, but that is meant for the positive consequences of bullying, not the act in itself. Don't create a negative, evil picture of the bully in your head, as you will find it acceptable that you, as a victim of bullying, hold the moral high ground. You are not a good person for enduring and tolerating someone else's bullshit. Neither is that person evil for using his strength for his own personal gains. Do not create this sorry image of the bully. Oh, the victim of his household, the struggler when his dad left to buy Marlboro Red and milk. Fuck that shit, man. His misfortune does not give him a reason to abuse you. Yes, you can be a moral person and help him in these tough situations when he opens up maybe, but at the exact moment of bullying, all of your sympathy towards him should be thrown out of the window. If someone attacks your country and your military magically surrenders its arms because the attacker's forces and their culture have a history of famine, disease and struggles, you would question the people in power and you would revolt. No mercy towards the people who abused you. I'm not saying that you should make revenge. I'm saying that at the moment when it is happening, do not try to be a better person. Fight fire with fire. Don't try to extinguish the fire. Fight fire with fire. Do you know what firefighters do to stop massive forest fires? They burn the fields around it to prevent the fire from spreading. Rule number 3. Understand the situation. I cannot give a detailed examination of your position and what is really happening. Only you can do that. You know if it is a smart decision to say something to the authorities or to voice up. I know that for many that doesn't work. Telling the teacher or the authority figure doesn't work for everyone, as many teachers just don't care. The best thing for most situations is confronting the bully directly, showing some teeth. But for some of you, that will probably lead to something worse, because if the bully sees your bluff, you just gave him a bigger reason for Pound Town. Join a martial arts gym. It will help you build confidence and fighting skills. I would say that the easiest form of bullying would be the physical, as it directly gives you a reason to improve, just to fight back. Majority of physical bullying can end easily if you just right hook the guy in the chin. Maybe that will send you to the principal's office, but the bully will not bother you again. You showed you can bite. And because of that, the bully might even respect you. Here's a little story time. When I changed schools, and when I was new to a different environment, we all had the tradition of running to the swings behind of the school. The fastest always get to the 4 swings out of us 15 or some. Most of the time I was amongst those 4s. Due to some trickery, I had to leave the swing for 2 seconds, and the guy who tricked me took my swing. Even though consciously I did not think that, subconsciously I knew that if I allowed that bugger to take my swing without repercussions, I will be seen as the weakling in this new school. And so, as any reasonable kid would do in that situation, I straight up started choking that kid. The only way of him to get out of that choking position was to let go of the swings and to just fall on his back behind it. But it seemed like that situation was a test for him to see how much he wants that swing. Dude straight up had red eyes and he wasn't letting go. If he goes to the sleep, it is on him, as the only thing that he needed to do was to just release the swing. Later, we went to the principal's office. It was scary, man. It was probably my second day at that school and I already fell into trouble. Long story short, because of that event, we became best friends and started sitting together for the majority of primary school, which is insane. When you show the bully that you have guts, there is a chance that you will actually befriend that bully. Probably the worst form of bullying is isolation. The class or the community isolating you, which is very difficult to get out of that. The reason why they are isolating you is because you do not follow the values of that group, or you do not possess the respectable values that the group might accept. If I were to take the black pill perspective, looks also play a part in that. But I have also seen many ugly dudes being accepted into groups, because either they have some skill or they just gesture maxed. I remember some guys from my high school who were isolated by the entire class. Not in my class, but different classes. The reason why was because they were socially uncalibrated, which probably started due to some minor forms of isolations. Social interactions and your level of social skills highly depend on that snowball effect. Small interactions that went well will snowball into you being able to talk in small groups of 6 people without overthinking, even when there are like 3 guys out there that you don't even know. Whilst if you constantly get negative social feedback, that will snowball into isolation, as you have shown to yourself that you just make other people uneasy and uncomfortable. Getting out of that situation is hard. For some, very hard. I can give you things that worked for me, but I always managed to get at least one friend who was there for me just to talk to. Just for me to have some small adjustments in my behavior and social calibration, as that back and forth feedback is important to be good at social skills. Which I bet that for some of you is also very difficult, because if there are rumors about you spreading throughout the school or the workplace environment, people would not really want to be your friend because they risk their own reputation being down, which is just brutal, man. So what I did, I asked people questions. I made people think I was interested in them, and I made them talk about themselves, because people love to talk about themselves. Many times I was told that I was a good listener, and that good memory stayed in their head, because just the fact that I listened, it made them feel important around me. I made others feel heard and important. I did not win the hearts of everyone, but I found 5 or 6 important people for my friend group. And once you find those important ones, you do not care a single bit about others isolating you. It sounds very easy than in reality though, but difficulties build us up or destroys us. I don't know, it truly depends from person to person. I don't want to be this guy who will give false hope. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or just leads you to the rehab room, I guess. Anyways, social bullying and isolation are the most annoying ones. You can find the most fire words to burn the other person, but if you say it weakly, or there is that dog mentality in the gang of the bully, you are pretty much cooked. Social bullying makes you timid over time, because every time you say something, someone shuts you down. And when you try to stand up for yourself and say something or to fight back, you will be looked at as the aggressor. What is your problem, dude? No, man, what is your problem? You have been a passive-aggressive towards me for some time, and I want to find out why. When I was in boot camp during my first military training, near the end of that training, there was one guy who was passive-aggressive towards me. He waited near the end of training just to start acting in that fashion, because we all knew that we would not see each other anymore. Maybe out of jealousy or some hidden issues. Look at this dude romanticizing the bully, and he said we should not romanticize the bullies. Get your ass away from here. Maybe out of jealousy or some hidden issues, I decided to confront him, once alone and the second time in a group. First, in the group setting, nothing really happened. Some words were exchanged. Both of us seemed like the aggressors. Nothing really you can do about it. The second time I confronted him alone, in the showers. He sucked my big fat. We also exchanged some words. I asked the guy why is he acting like that towards me and what did I do to him. And it went like nothing really happened. We are good, there is no problem and so on. Just bullshit avoidance style behavior. Later I found out that he was actually jealous because I took his spot in a competition. Some of the people who disliked him told me that. These people who are constantly passive aggressive are cowards. They want to toss slight jabs at you in which, when you jab back, they start crying. It is best to confront them alone, without the protection from the group. The number of times that the guy was passive aggressive towards me fell drastically after that one-on-one exchange of words. I could create an entire video on social calibration and how to improve socially, because this is an important factor for the outcome of your life. But I started to realize more and more that social calibration, even though affected by the environment, it is also very genetical. Of course that a beautiful child would be more socially calibrated due to positive social feedbacks compared to the social outcast, but even then you can do things to ease up the damage, just to get somewhere. For cyberbullying, I don't know, man, just turn off the computer. Just kidding. In reality, cyberbullying is also annoying as the bully is hidden behind the screen. You cannot call him out for his negative features. You cannot punch him. Imagine yourself trying to build that online persona just for that one bugger to start doing some stuff. You cannot even confront that person in real life. What, you will just sit on your bike and write to the guy? I remember I posted a goofy post on Instagram a very long time ago. It had some cringy title like "Blowpipe from Zulu Tribe, crazy are these times." Like, trust me, it sounded very hard in my head back then, and it also sounds better in my own native language. I was goofed on for that post, but because I showed that I don't care what others people think, they just let it go. Haters will always be there, especially if you want to be a YouTuber or an online persona. You need to stop caring. There will always be motherfuckers who will troll you. You should just not care. And how do you not care? By not placing a huge importance on what you post. Yes, I spent hours on this video, but I don't care if it explodes or gets less feedback than usual. I'm spending hours because at this time of my life, I really enjoy creating projects like these. If I placed such a huge importance on my videos, I would probably never upload, as not a single video of mine will be perfect. How many times have I stuttered or said something out of the pocket? Over time you develop this mindset of I don't give a fuck anymore. So to conclude this video, bullying is natural. You cannot fight nature. Attempts at suppressing nature and creating an unnatural environment does not work. Example like school attempts at lowering bullying by vocalizing the bullies and vocalizing the victims and putting up posters and everything. Bullying is a clear example of hierarchies and human behavior. Targets are the genetically inferior and ones with low social skills. Your misfortunes are usually the targets. Looks, financial and living situations, height or genetical features, weird behaviors, race. Bullies exist in all ages, from kindergarten to high school to college to workplace and so on. Many try to romanticize the bully situation as a form of coping with their situation. Oh, the bully. Oh, he bullies me because I'm a weak and fragile. But because his father left him at age 6 and his mother is an alcoholic drug addict, I must feel sympathy for him. Many bullies have good lives, good relationships, positive feedback loops and so on. Bullying either creates weak or strong identities, depending how you access the situation later in life. Traumas define you, so it is best to work on them straight away. The more a person is abused, the more likely they are to be abused again because of severe dissociation to danger, fear and red flags. Types of bullying are often physical bullying, verbal bullying, cyberbullying and social bullying. Physical bullying is the easiest to counter, you just need to show that you have teeth. Cyberbullying is the worst as it gives too much protection to the offender. Verbal and social bullying are the worst because at those moments where you are a young child and it is very important for you to learn how to socialize and so on. All of these struggles along the way will make you undeveloped throughout the years and it'll make you struggle more in your later adult years. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I would really like to be posting more often, but at the time, currently, it has been a struggle, man. Like job, family, everything has been just piling up, man. I just don't have enough time to dedicate onto videos. Even though I really like doing these video things, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time for pretty much zero return because I'm not getting that many views, I'm not earning money from this. It's basically just a passion project of mine that I like doing. I definitely plan to release more videos about bullying backstories because I have a few stories that maybe some of you will resonate with, that maybe some of you will connect more with me through these videos, even though I dislike the concept of parasocial relationships, and I don't really want my viewers to connect deeply with me, because I believe that that will do more damage than actual good. But anyways, by me sharing these stories, I believe that you can actually find some insights on your own personal life, and what have you been doing in your own entire life that you could change for the better. It is just the question of time when I will be uploading these types of videos. Anyways, thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.